Hello everyone, I'm Annalisa Avenue, and in these lessons, we will be tackling and learning topic broken line graph, using some problems with accurate solutions. But before that, here are the members of these groups. Without further ado, let's begin. We all know that a graph describes between the lines and points. On the other hand, a broken line is a straight line that joins several given points taken in some specified order. This explains that broken line graph is a graph that depicts informations as a dots connected by straight lines. In this way, the local change from point to point can be seen. Did you know that William Playfair is the one who invented this graph? Yes, you heard it right. William Playfair was born on September 22, 1759 and died on February 11, 1823. He was a political economist and engineer best known for his innovations in the presentation of quantitative data using graphs and charts. He created the time series graph, also known as a line chart, as well as the bar chart and the pie chart. Sadly, Playfair had to flee the country a second time when persecuted for libel, and thereafter spent his time writing in London, where he died at the age of 64. Now, let us dig deeper about broken line graph, which we will be discussed by one of our good reporters.
Description of a broken line graph. This graph exhibits a visual representation of information and how it has changed over time. As the term implies, this graph utilizes both lines and dots that are connected to each other to show the rate of change. Moreover, this graph can also be described as a diagram which has a horizontal axis which shows the unit of time and a vertical axis which displays qualitative values or characteristics. To add up, using the broken line graph is ideal when doing comparisons on two or more subjects. Opting to use the broken line graph is ideal as it shows information in a simple yet efficient way of representing.
Definition of terms. First, broken line graph. A graph in which data is represented as dots or small spots linked by straight lines, in which the data recorded are represented by points that are then connected to one another by segments to form a broken line. It is used to illustrate a phenomenon that evolves over time. Second, graph. A graph is a mathematical representation of a network, and it describes the relationship between lines and points. Third, broken line. A broken line is a discontinuous line or sequence of line segments, such as series of dashes, or a figure formed by line segments intersecting at oblique angles. A line made up of straight lines that join a number of given points taken in some specified order. Fourth, horizontal axis. The horizontal axis is usually called the x-axis, the horizontal number line on the coordinate plane. Fifth, vertical axis. The vertical axis is usually called the y-axis, a graph that is drawn from bottom to top. This axis is parallel to which coordinates are measured. 6. Data. Collection of information that can be used in creating a graph. Data are measured, collected, reported, and analyzed. Data refers to the fact that some existing information or knowledge is represented or coded in some form suitable for better usage or processing. 7. Dot. Gives a visual depiction of the distribution of data. It is a type of marker used to represent amounts. 8. Points or marker are used to represent amount of being recorded. In a broken line graph, markers are used to represent amounts, and these amounts are then joined together by straight lines. Markers can be dots, stars, or other representations. That's all.
Step 1. Find the range in values There are two sets of values. What units are used? What is the greatest value and the least value for the first set? What is the greatest value and the least value for the second set? Step 2. Determine a scale. Start with the horizontal scale. Determine whether the greatest value will fit on the graph. If it doesn't, then change the scale and try again. Now repeat this process for the vertical scale. Step 3. Label the graph. Mark each unit across the horizontal scale and along the vertical scale. Label the marks by the units they represent. Step 4. Plot the points and connect them. Plot a point for each pair of values. Which item of a pair is indicated by the horizontal scale? By the vertical scale? How many points will you plot? Connect the points with straight lines from left to right. Lastly, give the graph a title. What is your graph about?
Example of a broken line graph. The tabular data or the table shows the daily earnings of the store for 7 days. That the earnings on Monday is 400, on Tuesday is 350, on Wednesday is 200, Thursday is 300, Friday is 550, Saturday is 400, and Sunday is 600. Since our topic is broken line graph, we're going to use the broken line graph to determine which days were the earnings above $500. We can observe the labels on the axis. The horizontal line or the x-axis, known as the independent axis, represents the days. And the vertical line or the y-axis, known as the dependent axis, represents the number of earnings in a day. Also, the dot or the data point of the graph represents the quantity or a number matches a particular day in the x-axis. As you can see, we use dot to represent the data value. The 400 earnings on Monday, 350 earnings on Tuesday, 200 earnings on Wednesday, 300 earnings on Thursday, 550 earnings on Friday, and 400 earnings on Saturday, and lastly, 600 earnings on Sunday. Therefore, on both Friday and Sunday, earnings exceeded $500.
Here is another sample problem. The following broken line graph shows the number of people in a park. Please take a look on a sample broken line graph. As what you can see, on the y-axis or the vertical part of the graph, the data are from 0 to 50, and that's the number of people. On the x-axis or the horizontal part of the graph, the data are from the year 2000 to 2005. It's very obvious on the graph that from year 2000 to 2003, the number of people in park has increased. But unfortunately, from year 2003 to 2004, the number of people decreased. But it went up again from the year 2004 to 2005. By just looking at the broken line graph, you'll easily identify from which year has the largest and the smallest number of people in a park. Let's try to answer the questions below. First, in which year did the park have the largest number of people? So as mentioned earlier, you can easily identify it from the graph itself. So the answer is 2003. Second question, what is the percentage increase of people in the park from 2000 to 2002? So to get the answer, the solution is 30 minus 15 divided by 15 times 100%. So 30 minus 15 is 15. and then divided by 15 is a 1. So 1 times 100% is 100%. Therefore, we have 100% increase people in the park from the year 2000 to 2002.
In conclusion, in our first sample problem, the tabular data shows the daily earnings for 7 days. As we can see in the plotted data, it increases down to Wednesday from Monday, but then it has a high decrease on Friday. From $550, it decreases to $400 on Saturday, but increases on a Sunday that has a $600 earning. You can see that the earnings for 7 days has experienced a decrease in revenues, but a much more increase on the following days. And the days that have incomes of $500 above are Friday and Sunday. Lastly, the plotted data shows the number of people who go to the park in the particular year on the second sample problem. The plotted data shows a gradual increase from 2000 to 2003 and decreases about 10 in the year 2004 and a rise of 5 during the year 2005. As a result, 2003 has the most significant number of people, which is 45.
Recap. This is a summary of the given topic, the broken line graph, tackled and written by the group 4. So broken line graph is a graph in which data is represented as dots or small spots linked by straight lines. It is a chart that is utilized when showing change over the long run is fundamental. A line is utilized to join the qualities. However, the line has no characterized incline. So the broken line graph includes vertical axis, horizontal axis, data, dot, slope, and point. And of course, in making the broken line graph, there are 5 steps. First step is to find the range and values. Second step is to determine a scale. Start with a horizontal scale. Determine whether the greatest value will fit on the graph. And step 3, label the graph. Mark each unit across the horizontal scale and along the vertical axis. Step 4 is to plot the points and connect them. And last but not least is to give the graph a title.